Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na-eja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise.
Welcome, 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 wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining me, fellow Biafrans, wherever you are connecting from. If you are connecting from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia or Canada, if you are joining me from Biafra land, I say, may Chukwu Kukabiama continue to guide and protect you wherever you are. We have to continue to do what we are supposed to do as Biafrans. And each Biafran have to wake up in the year 2022 to continue to stand on the truth. It is only the truth that can set us free, only the truth that can hold us strong, only the truth can lead us to the path of freedom. We will continue to speak. We will continue to speak and continue to share the video. Whenever you get a broadcast that is concerning Biafran, share the broadcast to all platforms, share it to everywhere. As you all know, I have always said it that in 2022, we are going to have so much distraction that if we are not careful, something different might happen. We will not allow the Janjaweed to distract us. The Janjaweed are planning by all means possible. You know that this is an electioneering year. Electioneering year. In electioneering year, what do you see? What do you see in this year, 2022? You are going to see propaganda and blackmail from all angles, from all corners. They are going to come with all manner of weapons. They will use your own friend against you. They will use your brother against you. They will use your mother, your father against you. They will use your benefactor against you. They will use those people you trust against you to preach lies and propaganda against the truth. But I tell you, if you continue to stand on the truth, you will see the end of 2022. 2022 will never see your end. That is why we have to continue to stand on the truth. Today, we are going to discuss about the issue of the Janjaweed, more especially the imposter in Asorock. The late Mohammadu Buhari, who died and was buried in Saudi Arabia, as you all know. And then they brought an imposter and placed the imposter in Asorock. And imposter have been playing the script of the Janjaweed, playing the script of Mohammadu Buhari. Even if Mohammadu Buhari was alive today, the same thing this imposter is doing is what he would do. Because everything this imposter is doing is the script that Mohammadu Buhari have written down. And the Fulani Janjaweed are pursuing it. Mohammadu Buhari has become only their last hope and their last stronghold. That is why they are standing strong and making sure that they dip their Quran into the Atlantic Ocean. We are going to look into the broadcast, the interview that was granted to the imposter in Asorock by Channel Television. It is so sad. You see, when I see some people who are complaining today about that imposter in Asorock, when I see people complaining about the late Mohammadu Buhari and the imposter in Asorock, I'll be wondering, these are the same people who knew, they know very well. They know very well the attitude of this very man, this very imposter. They know the attitude of this very Mohammadu Buhari when he was alive. They know his attitude before they voted him in 2015. They knew his attitude. They know very well. It wasn't a mistake. Ask yourself, why is it that those people who voted Mohammadu Buhari in voted him? Do you know the caliber of people that brought the imposter you see today? Do you know the caliber of people that brought Mohammadu Buhari into power? Ask yourself, why is it that those people could not be able to see beyond their nose? When you think about the people that brought Mohammadu Buhari into power, they are doctors, they are professors, they are general overseers in the church, they are imams, they are ministers, they are educationists, popular people that you so much respect. These are the people who knows history very well. They know history. They know it very, very well. But what did they do? They shut down the history because of their own selfish interest, because of their own personal interest. And they projected Mohammadu Buhari for everybody to follow. And the Nigerian congregation followed and pursued and continued to follow this man who has today brought Nigeria to where it is today, the end of the road, which is disintegration. These people that brought this man in power, they know history very well. They know very well that Muhammadu Buhari is so nepotic. There has never a time he has changed his attitude of nepotism. Muhammadu Buhari was so nepotic, even when he was serving in the military. When he was serving as a military officer, his mates in the military said that he was so nepotic, very nepotic, that he's only concerned about the Fulani agenda and his religion. He's only concerned about Fulani agenda and his religion. And the religion he's pursuing is his own kind of Fulani Islam. They know very well. Ask me, why did they bring this man even when they have known so much about him? These are people who claim to be ambassadors, people who claim to be professionals, people who claim to be professors, doctors, engineers, general overseer of churches, people who claim to see vision. They came together and they brought this man to power. And today, you see some of them have shut their mouth. They can't talk, they can't speak. Some of them are hiding under their cupboard. Some of them are so shameful that they cannot speak anymore. They have disappeared. And these people that brought Muhammadu Buhari into power, let me tell you, in among them, you see Igbos, you see Yorubas, you see Ijos, you see Hausas, you see Christians, you see Muslims. Different kind of criminals. They came together to bring a man that they know that has nothing to offer because of their personal interest. You see, that is why I have to advise you before I continue on this program that each time you are following somebody, do not follow people because of what they are saying. In this world, the only thing that is ruling the world in people's attitude is personal interest. Everybody that is doing anything they are doing or saying anything they always put their interest first. As you see it in the government of the world, every government of the world, America, Europe, they are all putting their own interests forward before any other thing. Their interest first. They don't care about you. Likewise, the people you want to follow. When you say you follow so person, you don't follow so person. You obey so person, you don't obey so. Every single human being on this planet Earth, they are all following their own personal interest. And when you are going to follow an issue, check that issue properly based on truth, and then look at interest, collective interest of the people and your own interest before you know whom to support and who to follow. That is how the world is being run. Up to today, that's how the world is being run. And that was why people who were selfish for their own selfish interests came together and brought Muhammadu Buhari and imposed on the contraption called Nigeria. And people came and embraced him. They painted him with integrity, even when they know that Muhammadu Buhari has no single integrity, not one. In nepotism, he's the most nepotic man in that contraption called Nigeria. He lies from all sides of his mouth. He has never been truthful at any point in time. Talking about knowledge, Muhammadu Buhari has an empty brain. He has nothing in his brain. They know very well. He has never improved himself. After Muhammadu Buhari was overthrown by Babangida, even when he was a military governor, military president, when he was in military, serving as a president, he was so nepotic. He overthrew Shagari and then took Ekwueme and kept Ekwueme in Kirikiri. Ekwueme, who was the vice president, was kept in Kirikiri. Meanwhile, Shagari was in a house arrest because he's from the north. He took all the good leaders, all the good governors we have in the southern part of Nigeria were imprisoned by Muhammadu Buhari. Some of them died. They lost their sight. Somebody like Bruce Ali. Somebody like Bruce Ali and that of Imo State governor. These people suffered in the hand of Muhammadu Buhari. Most of them lost their sight. Most of them lost everything. Unless Ekwueme was in prison, a vice president, because of Muhammadu Buhari. He was so nepotic, and all these people that came together, professors, even Biafrans, came together and brought this man whom they know has nothing to offer except his religion and his Fulani agenda. They know very well. But because of their personal interest, because they felt that he's going to give them a position, they felt that we're going to get something from him, they came together and drove away Goodluck Jonathan. I'm not saying that Goodluck Jonathan is better. Goodluck Jonathan offered nothing to any Biafran. He did nothing, even to his own Ijaw people. Goodluck Jonathan did not do anything to Ijaw people. His leadership did not offer anything to Ijaw people. But yet, he was 1,001 times better than Muhammadu Buhari. And these people who brought him know very well about it. Somebody like Obi Ezekwesili. Obi Ezekwesili, who is an educationist, who has traveled around the world, have hold important posts. should be able to know that Muhammadu Buhari has never ever improved himself as a human being. He has 50 cows, and those 50 cows were still with him until they went to the farm to bring him. He was overthrown by Babangida. He never went back to school to improve himself. Did you ever hear that Muhammadu Buhari went back to school? Muhammadu Buhari have never written any book. Muhammadu Buhari did not open any company. Muhammadu Buhari did not employ anybody. It was only about himself. He steal and keep the cash to use for him and his family. A man who has not improved himself in any way was only controlling 50 cows, yet his whole family and children were in London studying and living, including Aisha. They were all in London. Who was sponsoring them? Have you asked yourself? This is the most corrupt man you have in the country called Nigeria. Even when Abacha was in power, Abacha appointed this same Muhammadu Buhari. He was working with Abacha, and he has said it out with that number that Abacha wasn't a criminal. He never believed that Abacha embezzled money. But yet, people in the southern part of Nigeria, Igbos, Ijos, Yorubas, people from the hometown of Goodluck, they came together to fight against Goodluck, to push him away and bring an imposter who has nothing to offer, even when they know fully well that this man has nothing to offer. He has nothing upstairs. He has no single certificate of his own. Even if you begin to trace how he became a general, there's nothing to offer. Each time he begins to make a speech, he will only begin to remind you about the genocide he committed against the Biafrans. The genocide he committed against Biafran, that is the only thing that is the only accolade Muhammadu Buhari had. He will continue to remind you of how he built a one Nigeria. The only accolade Muhammadu Buhari had is that he committed genocide against the Biafrans. And he's proud of it. He doesn't hide it. This is a man who doesn't want to see a Biafran eye to eye. He doesn't want to hear anything about any Biafran person. All he's concerned about is stealing wealth in Biafra land as much as he can to use for his own personal gain. But still, people from the southern part of Nigeria came together and bring this evil upon every other person. And Nigerians closed their eyes, knowing fully well what this man is. They knew what he did when he was a military president. They knew how the economy was. They knew how nepotic he was. All of them knew. Obvious Ekwesili knows very well. Wole Soyinka knows very well. Adeboye knows very well. So many of them who came together, professors, people, well-meaning people, they know very well that this man has nothing to offer. He has no certificate, yet they came together because of their own personal interest on what they will gain. But at last, what happened? He disappointed all of them. So many of them today, they are so shameful of themselves, that they cannot be able to come out and speak. They can't even come out and oppose him because they know the evil that they have committed. This is the man they have as a president. And eventually, we woke up and see. You can see that since our Supreme Amazon Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya and sent to Nigeria through extraordinary edition, that is when this imposter have gotten liver. Since then, this imposter have gotten liver of standing before the press to begin to issue statements, traveling around the whole world, because he knows that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not there to monitor and speak up on what is happening. He felt that the man that knows him very well, the man that knows when he died and where he was buried, is no more. The man who is challenging the whole world and reminding the world that he is a dead man walking, he's no longer there. He is now gallivanting all over the world, making press statement upon press statement, staying before the camera and smiling, thinking that we have forgotten. We can't forget. Our Supreme Amazon Nnamdi Kanu has always been very, very correct, 101% correct. Very correct. Have you asked yourself, why is it in the charges they are presenting against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they never charge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of accusing Muhammadu Buhari falsely of a dead man, calling Muhammadu Buhari a dead man? Why didn't they bring that charge against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Have you asked yourself that question? Why is it that among all the charges that were presented against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that issue was never mentioned? It is because our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has always been correct. He knows what he's saying. He knows what he's saying. And this is one of the reasons why they cannot be able to face him in their court today. they keep on adjourning his case. And I have to remind you, as you know, our Supreme Court Mazen Nanikano is coming to court on the 18th, 19th, and the 20th to face them. We are waiting to see what is going to happen. But we are going to look into the interview that was granted to this imposter in Asorock. You can see that this man is an unrepentant fool. That is what he is. Well, I don't blame the imposter, because this is a script that had been written by Mohammadu Buhari when he was alive. He wrote this script. The Janjaweed came together and wrote the script that they are playing today, and they will implement every single script that Mohammadu Buhari have written down. They will implement it. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you protest. It doesn't matter the angle you are coming from. They will do what they will do. The Janjaweed don't care about. They don't care about you. As long as you are an indigenous tribe in the country of Nigeria, they give no damn about you. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care what you want to say. They don't care what you want to do. That is how they operate. That is how they operate. I want you to watch this interview. We are going to pick some information from the interview that we granted to him, some few of them that we discuss, to show you how unrepentant Mohammadu Buhari is and the Janjaweed are. To tell you that they are not shifting. For those of you who are withdrawing from fighting for Biafra struggle, for those of you who are withdrawing for fighting with their ethnic group, if you're Oduduwa people, it is high time you wake up and go and fight with Oduduwa. Fight to finish. If you're a Biafran, stand 101% with Biafrans and fight to finish. If you're from the Middle Belt, this is the time you have to fight like never before. If you are an indigenous tribe in the country of Nigeria, this is the time to fight to the finish, because we are in a dangerous time. I told you in my last broadcast of last year, I told you that this year they are going to do everything possible to implement every single thing they want to implement. They will do it. They have only 1 year, 2022. That is the only time they have to implement every evil that they have planned. Remember, Obuda Melafia told us that if possible for them, that they were going to introduce war in Nigeria. You have to wake up. If you have not started fighting with your own people, go and prepare yourself. Let us hear the imposter in Asorock, what he said when he was asked some questions. Let's start from the beginning of where we can be able to. We are not going to run through the whole nonsense that he said. We are going to put some important one that affects us, important one that we're going to dissect. We'll talk about it. Let's watch this.
Precisely where we start.
Your New Year's speech. And in that speech, you told Nigerians, you said, and I quote, "The persistent insecurity in certain parts of the country have threatened to unravel the incremental gains achieved. Did you envisage the enormity of the task when you promised to tackle insecurity as President and Commander-in-Chief of our country?"
Well, I think you can recall that when I was campaigning, right, 2015, there were 3 fundamental issues: security, economy, and fighting corruption. And for Nigerians to be fair to this administration is to try and find out, from the time we won the election in 2015 to now, in the 3 promises we made: improving security, improving the economy, and trying to fight corruption. Well, securing the country in the northeast, if you ask anybody from Borno State, from Yobe State, from Adamawa State, there were a number of local governments, about 18, that were in the hands of Boko Haram. None of any local government now is strictly in the hands of Boko Haram or ISWAP. So, in that respect, we have done something. The economy, don't forget, and I challenge so many people to go and check with the central bank or NNPC, the production from 1999 to 2014 was 2.1 million barrels a day, average production, at the average cost of $100 American per barrel. When we came, somehow the militants were unleashed in the South. Production went down to 500,000 barrels a day. And I think by some fabulous coincidence, the price again collapsed to about $37 per barrel. But look at what we did within the time frame and the resources available to us relative to the government we inherited from.
Well, the economy and security are two very pressing areas, Mr. President, and I'm sure that over and over again we'll keep going there. You talked about how the militants were unleashed. Some people will say that President Erdogan also faced that crisis when he ascended, when he became president, and that was one of the reasons why he had to, come up with the amnesty program. But I'll take you back again to security. You've spoken about the progress we've made in the Northeast, and that is true. The camps are being emptied. The Northwest continues to be of concern, where we see bandits, unleashed in many parts of the Northwest, sometimes getting to the North Central of the country. Would you say that we understand fully the problems we're currently facing in terms of security in the Northwest?
In the Northwest, it's the same people, the same culture, stealing each other's animals, killing each other, burning villages. So I think the only language they understand, we discuss it thoroughly.
You see this man is very clueless. If you observe closely, you can see that this man is still answer the same statement this man have been making from the very first day they elected him. This is the same excuse he's still giving. The same excuse this idiot is given when he took power. The same excuse is still what he's given up to today. The same excuse. They are asking him, what improvement have you made since you came to power in terms of economy and security? That same excuse is still what he's giving. Telling us about the places that have been recovered, that Boko Haram is no longer there. When he knows fully well that it was Goodluck Jonathan, within the last 2 weeks of Goodluck Jonathan took away, removed all the terrorist areas. He took it over. The government of Goodluck Jonathan took over every terrorist area, any place that Boko Haram were in charge. They took it over. It wasn't him. It wasn't this idiot that took it. But every day he continued to claim that glory to himself. In terms of the economy, he is crying about petroleum. He is still crying about price of petroleum, the price that he knew. He knew the price of petroleum before he came to power to come and take over. He knew the price before he came. Today, he's still complaining from the very unrepentant fool. And still, you see some Nigerians, they look surprised. Why are you going to be surprised? This is a man who has never improved himself in any way. Mohammadu Buhari has never improved himself. Personally, he has never improved himself. He has not written any book. He has not owned any company. He has not run any business in his life. He has not invented anything. Other leaders are writing books. He has not written any single book. He didn't go back to class. How on the planet Earth is anybody expecting this man to change from his attitude? An unrepentant fool. He will continue to say the same thing over and over again. And the funny thing is that these idiots that are coming to ask you, it is the same simple question they are still asking him, a written question. And he's repeating the same thing he answered years when he came to power. That is the same script they are still playing up to today. The same script, that is what they're still playing up today. To show you that he has no idea. He has no idea what is going on in the country of Nigeria. He has no idea. Look at somebody who is telling you that terrorism in Borno State have ended. I played a video here where somebody who in Borno State is saying that he can't even go for a burial. A burial of his in-law, he can go. Let me see if I can get the video. Where Galadima was saying something. Buba Galadima was saying, explaining how insecurity is in the north. Let me see if I can see the video.
So the situation is so bad. I don't think even the Boko Haram that we were told has been technically decimated is correct. Just last weekend or this weekend, they kidnapped people between Damaturu and Maiduguri. Over 40 people were kidnapped. And maybe you are aware or you are not aware, 2-3 days ago again, nearly the same time, in the old city of Sokoto, prayers for morning prayers was called at about 2 a.m. in Sokoto. People unsuspecting of what was happening just congregated to the mosque, and every one of them, including the imam, were picked, and as I speak to you, their locations or no contact with them is unknown.
So we'll try to confirm that story.
You can confirm that. And bandits have taken over Kaduna Abuja expressway, and consecutively for 3-4 days in the same place, they were kidnapping people and killing people, maiming people, as if there is no security. There aren't security people at all in the vicinity of Abuja and Kaduna. But Nigeria's security system had deployed over 100,000 security men, police, DSS, civil defense, custom, immigration for Anambra elections. If they have that kind of personnel, why don't they, for a civic duty, why can't they deploy them to assist us? Me, I lost my senior brother in Damaturu. My wife lost her junior sister. As I speak to you, we can't go. We can't go. We have no money.
You can't attend the burial?
We can't. I say even to condole the remaining family members. We can't make it. How can we? I don't have, well, maybe will give me air ticket to go to Maiduguri. But even if I reach Maiduguri, how do I go to Damaturu with what I have told you? So all these lies that people make, let's be objective and honest as Nigerians. Let's talk to each other. This issue is not politics. This issue is not ethnicity. This issue is not religion. This issue is not where you come from. We are all in it. Me in Yobe is in it. Sokoto, Imo, all are in it. So it is for all of us to try to sort out this problem. It is not shouting at each other that can sort out the problem. Nigerian leaders must understand that they are occupying a position of trust. And the first word in the Constitution, the essence of any government, is the protection of lives and property. They shouldn't think that they are more patriotic and more Nigerian than some of us. Of course, some of us are more than them in patriotism, and they know that, because some of them are ordinary thieves. If you can, if one man out of his senses can steal 60 billion, we were told by the chairman of EFCC, what is he going to do with that?
That's an unnamed governor in the North Central withdrawing 60 billion naira cash.
So you even know?
Over some years.
So you even know?
I can confirm that.
What does he intend to do with that?
You have heard from that man. This is the insecurity that Mohammadu Buhari shamelessly come to national television to defend. That is a man from the north. A man from north, from that same Borno state he's talking about. You heard him talk about Maiduguri, that his in-law died in Maiduguri. He can't even go for visit. He can't go for visit. That video was done about last week. And look at Mohammadu Buhari here, coming to talk about his success in security. This is how unrepentant these people are. A man who has done, a man that lies even from his own eyes. Things that are very plain. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about you. The imposter in Asorock doesn't care. After all, he's not a Nigerian. So what does he? It doesn't concern him. He doesn't care about you. Even when the channel television tried to remind him of the situation of Nigeria and people and the situation where he meant Nigeria before, he remains confused. Let me play another one for you so that you can see how damaged the issue is.
Where the nation was when he took over office in 2015, our debt stock at the time was about 12 trillion. Now it is about 32 trillion. Inflation.
Just watch him. The presenter, Shego, is trying to remind him where Nigeria was before he took over. They are trying to remind him. You know, he's always very quick. Each time you see him, he will begin to tell you when they came that petroleum was so. Petroleum was so expensive. Now petroleum is like. Now, Shego want to remind him. Shego want to remind him where Nigeria was before this imposter came in. Before this imposter, before he came in, he wanted to remind him where Nigeria was. Watch.
Where the nation was when you took over office in 2015, our debt stock at the time was about 12 trillion. Now it is about 32 trillion. Inflation rate was about 9%. It is now sitting about over 15%. Unemployment rate was about 8.19%. It is now 33.28%. Exchange rate was about 197 naira to a dollar. Is way over 400 naira to a dollar. So people will look back, economically speaking, and say, look, before you took over office, some of these indicators were fair, and now the figures are not friendly at all.
Well, I'm not sure how correct the calculations are, but all I know is that we have to allow people to get access to the farms. As I said, we just have to go back to the land. We have to go back to the land. What we have done so far, as I said, we have achieved some successes. And people ought to measure our successes vis-a-vis the problems when we started. You have given your figures as you calculated. But the important thing is this, that the farms that, produce machinery and so on, tractors and so on, we have to build the infrastructure.
You see this imposter. This man has an empty brain. There's nothing in his brain. Even after the presenter have reminded him of how the country was before he came, he is now talking about farm, that people should go back to farm. How can people go to farm when your own people, when he is sponsoring terrorism against the farmers? He even rejected the statistics. The statistics that Shegu was reading to him, he rejected it. He said he doesn't know how he managed to get the statistics. Just like the same way he said he didn't know how they managed to get a security camera that captured Ganduje when he was stealing money. You remember that? You remember when he was asked about Ganduje that was captured with camera, stealing money? He defended Ganduje. And he said he doesn't know the kind of security camera that was used to capture it. Today, he said he doesn't know the kind of indices that were used to measure what Shegu is saying. This man is so clueless and so wicked that he doesn't, very unrepentant, very unrepentant. He has nothing in his brain. And my most annoying is that the people that brought him in power are people who claim to be knowledgeable. People who are professors, who are general overseers in the church, people who are educationists. They were the people that came together from different tribe and different religion and imposed this imposter in the country called Nigeria. Today, you see what is happening. You see, after they did it, he's telling us, good, how can people go to farm when you are the one empowering your own Fulani people, empowering the Fulani headers to kill the farmers? You are killing the farmers, chasing the. Look at Benue State. Benue State is supposed to be the basket home of the country, or whatever they call it. How many farmers are going to farm in Benue State? They kill and kill and kill in Benue State. Benue State people stop going to farm. Benue State cried until they lost tears. Benue State, where you know that they cultivate, they produce most of the things that they send to Southern Nigeria consume. What do they bring for us from the north, apart from their cow? What else? But you see, these people continue to lie, continue to push falsehood. And no matter how you try, these people are unrepentant and can never change. And I'm not expecting him to change. That is why you see one of the people that sponsored him, one of the Obasanjo, one of the idiots that sponsored this very Mohammadu Buhari, coming out to tell you that he's a dead horse. That anybody who is waiting for Mohammadu Buhari is waiting for a dead horse. Do his last interview. It is now he realized that he's waiting for a dead horse. He knows very well that Mohammadu Buhari has been a dead horse from day one. He has been a dead horse even before he came to power. He has been a dead horse because he has never improved himself in any way. And they went and brought him and painted him good and brought him to us. Today, you can see the result. You can see the result today. Let us go further. and see, when they ask him about the farmers, they ask him about the farmers and herders, then you will now see how evil this man is. When he was asked a question about farmers and herders, you will now see how evil this man is and what he has to respond.
Nigeria, we are very susceptible to such issues because of our population and the size of the country. Population is the size of the country.
I made that reference to weather because, you know, people believe that when things get dry up north, that's when you begin to see the herders coming down south, and that's when we see the resurgence of the conflict between farmers and herders. So that's why I made reference to the weather. Do you think that that has been sorted once and for all?
Yes, the ministers of agriculture from Audu Obe to Mahmoud now, one of the issues I discussed.
I want you to observe one thing when you are watching this video. Observe one thing, that this lady, when she's asking this question, this Nigerian media are so evil that they can never say the truth. They can never say the truth. Up till now, Nigerian media is still preaching there are herders and farmers clashes. The Nigerian media are still pushing that propaganda of herders and farmers clashes when they know there is no clashes anywhere. It is this Fulani Janjaweed that are going to kill farmers in their home. They are going to farmers to kill their home in their home and destroy their farms. They did it in Benue State. They did it in Ebonyi State. They did it in Enugu State. They did it in the Southwest, in Oduduwa land. It is these herders. The same thing they did even in Kaduna. They did the same thing in Southern Kaduna. They did it in Plateau State. It is these same headers that are killing people. But you see the conventional media, they are still pushing forward that very narrative of farmers and headers clashes. A lie from the pit of hell. How can somebody who is sitting in his house, sleeping in his house, be killed and you call it farmers and headers clashes? Somebody who is farming on his own land, you took your own cow all the way from Sokoto to come and eat his cow, then you call it clashes. You come with your AK-47 to kill people and butcher them. Butcher a farmer who has nothing to, who doesn't have any weapon. And the media is helping them to push that agenda. They are still talking about farmers and headers clashes, which is a pure lie. Watch what that lady is asking. The way she's putting her question. They are saying that is to show you that Nigeria can never change. Nothing can change in Nigeria. The earlier you begin to ask for a breakup of this contraption, the earlier you begin to ask, the better. They can never, unrepentant souls are what we have in that country of Nigeria. From their leadership to their media to every single soul, you see, they are unrepentant fools. Every leadership in Nigeria, unrepentant. They can never change their narrative. They are still bent on saying that, even when there are so many investigations, even by international investigators have said it, that these are ethnic cleansing being conducted by the Fulanis. Ethnic cleansing, jihad conducted by Fulanis. It is never any clash, but they are still pushing it as farmers and header clashes to make the imposter in Asorock happy. Watch it.
Nigeria, we are very susceptible to such issues because of our population and the size of the country. Population is the size of the country.
I made that reference to weather because, you know, people believe that when things get dry up north, that's when you begin to see the herders coming down south, and that's when we see the resurgence of the conflict between farmers and herders. So that's why I made reference to the weather. Do you think that that has been sorted once and for all?
Yes, the ministers of agriculture from Audu Obe to Mahmoud now, one of the issues I discussed with them personally is to go and get the gazettes of First Republic, especially from the northern states. There are cattle routes and grazing grounds. And the cattle rearers are confined to those areas. Those that go outside that one are arrested, and farmers are encouraged to come and lay their claims. If they don't have the money, their cattle were sold, and the farmers are settled. So we said we have to go back to that system again to try and make sure that we prepare the grazing areas, dams, windmills, even veterinary departments, so that the herders don't stray into people's farms and into the towns and so on. So really, we are working on that.
The back and forth on issues of security continued. The focus for us was to...
Did you hear him clearly? Muhammadu Buhari is an unrepentant soul. He can never change from whatever he wants to do. It is so sad. It is so sad that the Nigerian public are still looking at him as somebody who can... Muhammadu Buhari is an unrepentant soul. He will never change. Even up to date, you see the southern governors have come together. Not only the southern governors, even governors in the north have come to say that they do not want open grazing anymore. Some northern governors said it, they don't want open grazing anymore. But up to today, Muhammadu Buhari is still pushing the agenda of open grazing. Look at him still talking about going to recover the grazing routes. He is still talking about recovering the gazetted grazing route of ancient grazing route. Where are you going to see those grazing routes of time of Ottoman Dafodio? Places where houses have been built, roads have been built, people have occupied. Muhammadu Buhari is still talking about grazing route. A man that has not improved himself and not ready to improve. He is not ready to embrace anything technology. This man is just the same thing with Boko Haram. As you see Boko Haram telling you that education is haram, the same thing with Muhammadu Buhari. For Muhammadu Buhari, education is forbidden. For Muhammadu Buhari, education is haram. For Muhammadu Buhari. That is why he has never gone back to school to improve himself. Every other president, past president, after they left power, they go back to school. They go to courses. Muhammadu Buhari have never gone to any course. Since he left power, he has never attended any place. He has never improved himself in any way. What does that show you? That education education is a cost to him. Muhammadu Buhari is a member of Boko Haram, senior member of Boko Haram, and today they have succeeded in bringing an imposter who is a core member of Boko Haram to continue to run affairs in the country of Nigeria. That is why he's still talking about grazing route. Still talking about grazing route. When the world have moved forward, when people are talking about reasonable things, this man is talking about grazing route. Grazing route that you know that when they are grazing, the grazing route does not improve the life of the cow. It doesn't even improve the life of the headers. It doesn't improve there is no improvement they get from that grazing route. For you to trek all the way from Sokoto to the southern part of Nigeria, don't you think the effect that will have to the cow? That is why how you see their cow. When you see the cow or this Fulani it's just like something that is poisoned. That is why you see their cow. In the process of passing through the desert and all that, they make love to the cow. They do all manner of things with the cow. That is the same evil is what Muhammadu Buhari is supporting. If Muhammadu Buhari meant well and is somebody who is willing to improve himself, he should be the one advocating on how they will better the life of the ordinary headers to improve their system. If Muhammadu Buhari was sensible, he is supposed to embrace the modern system of animal husbandry. He's supposed to embrace it. But what do you see? He can never, ever embrace it. He is still talking, even when he has just 1 year to live. That same thing he's preaching, that talking about grazing, he is still standing on the grazing route, that they will continue to graze. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. Muhammadu Buhari can never, ever change. Can never change. And the people who voted him in know. So many of them who voted him in, they know. This is a man who is running an affair. You see why the Biafrans do not want to be part of this contraption. We don't want to be part of it. We don't want to be part of it. And no well-meaning person, no well-thinking person would like to be part of the very contraption. With the way things are going, if you are a well-meaning person, you can never, ever pray to be part of the very contraption.